The story starts with a girl hurrying back home so she can play her favorite video game. But out of nowhere, a truck appears, and she is suddenly hit by it. When she wakes up, she realizes she is now inside the body of a princess. She instantly collapses to the floor, making the servants panic as they rush around trying to call for help. Soon, we find out that she has been reborn inside the game as the Villainess princess, the evil final boss of the story. In the game's plot, this princess is destined to bring ruin to the entire country within 10 years. She commits terrible crimes until the main protagonist finally stops her terrifying rule. While she is lying in bed, her father, Prince Consort Albert, enters the room to check on her. He tells her that her mother is very worried. Her mother's name is Rosa, and she is the most powerful ruler of the kingdom. Pride rarely gets to see her because Rosa is always busy handling her duties as queen. But Pride also understands that there is another reason behind it. She asks Albert about her younger sister, already knowing that her sister is Tiara, the protagonist of the game. Albert is surprised and wonders how Pride could possibly know that. He begins to suspect that she has the ability to see the future, the same rare power that Rosa possesses. Because of this, he starts to recognize her as the true crown princess. However, Pride knows very well that this moment is not supposed to happen this way in the original story. Albert tells her to rest properly before leaving the room. After he leaves, Pride recalls that people in this kingdom can be born with special powers. Among all abilities, precognition is considered one of the most valuable, especially for someone who may rule the country one day. Because of that, anyone born with this power is seen as suitable to inherit the throne. Even in the original game, Pride's character shows this ability when she correctly reveals that she has a younger sister, proving herself worthy of becoming the next ruler. But Pride knows her case is different. She understands that as the final boss of the game, she is eventually supposed to be judged guilty and die. She also remembers that there is a tragic ending where either Tiara or Tiara's love interest loses their life. But Pride has no desire to cause that ending because she knows both Tiara and her love interest are kind people, while the original Pride is a completely evil character. Just then, she suddenly remembers something important and quickly jumps out of bed, asking the maids where her father is. The maids tell her that Albert has already gone to report to the queen. Pride immediately opens the window and calls out to him while climbing onto the window ledge. The maids try to stop her, but she orders them not to get in her way. She warns Albert not to take the carriage because one of its wheels is damaged and it will lead to an accident. At that moment, a powerful gust of wind blows through, causing Pride to lose her balance and fall. Luckily, a servant manages to grab her just in time and saves her from falling. The maids instantly bow down and beg for forgiveness. Seeing them like this makes Pride remember that her original character punished those maids harshly and even sentenced them to death. Overwhelmed by that memory, Pride begins to cry and apologizes to the maids instead, leaving them completely shocked. Albert then comes back into the room and asks if the servants did something wrong to her, but Pride tells him that she is the one who caused the trouble and begs him not to punish them. Later that day, Albert explains that Pride will meet Tiara on her 6th birthday. He also tells her that they need to adopt a younger brother for her, someone who will serve as her assistant. The next day, as Pride walks through the castle, the servants quietly talk about how much her personality has changed. Pride thinks to herself that she wants to reject everything about the original Pride because she is nothing like the cruel character from the game. She also realizes that both of her parents are still alive, even though in the game they were supposed to already be dead by this point. Because of that, she starts to believe that maybe she really can change the events of this world. Albert then introduces her to her younger brother-in-law, Stale. He is one of the romance interests in the game, and Albert says that Stale will become Pride's assistant. Stale has the power to teleport, but he is wearing handcuffs that suppress his ability because he has tried to escape several times. Albert tells Pride that Stale will sign a contract of subordination with her the next day, which means the handcuffs will no longer be needed. Pride then remembers that in the original story, her character deceives Stale into signing a contract of fealty instead of a normal subordination contract. That contract gave her complete control over him and basically turned him into her slave. This makes Pride anxious because events still seem to be moving according to the game's storyline. She starts wondering whether she can truly change the future or not. That evening, she goes to Stale's room and asks him if he wants to see his mother. Stale becomes deeply emotional when Pride shows him the key to his handcuffs, which she had secretly taken from Albert's desk. Pride is ready to unlock them, but Stale stops her and explains that if he tries to run away from the castle, both he and his mother will be punished. Stale tells her that after the official notice was given, he was only allowed to spend 2 more weeks with his mother before being taken to the castle. On the day they separated, he cried, but it at least he was able to say goodbye to her properly. He is also scared that if he escapes, another child will be chosen to replace him. He says he does not want anyone else to go through the same pain he did, so he will simply forget about his mother and serve Pride. Pride realizes that Stale is actually a kind-hearted boy. At the same time, she remembers how the original Pride manipulated him and eventually forced him to kill his own mother. Thinking about that horrible future makes her emotional. She quietly tells him to rest well and then leaves his room. The next day, the contract is officially signed and Stale's handcuffs are taken off. Albert welcomes him as a member of the family. Stale tells Pride that he looks forward to staying by her side and says he will protect her, respectfully calling her Princess. Pride tells him he does not need to speak so formally because they are family now. However, her father's assistant, Chancellor Gilbert, approaches them and advises Stale to address her properly in public. He then tells Pride that she is growing into a suitable vessel for a future queen. Since people now believe Pride has the power of precognition, she shows Stale around the castle and takes him to the library, telling him that he can use it whenever he wants. Later, Pride sees Stale carrying several books, but he suddenly collapses and begins breathing heavily. It turns out that he has caught a cold. As he cries, he starts remembering his mother. Pride understands that he has suffered a lot, and she realizes that he has even been pushing himself to study and adjust to life inside the castle. She thinks again about how cruel the original Pride was to him, and this brings her to tears. Stale asks her why she is crying, and Pride hugs him while apologizing because she cannot return him to his mother. She tells him that she truly wants him to be with her. Pride promises that she will never hurt him and says she wants to make everyone happy. Then she tells Stale that if she ever becomes a terrible queen, he should kill her. Pride ends up falling asleep in Stale's room, while Stale quietly thinks that he wants to protect her. And with that, episode 1 comes to an end. Like and subscribe to stay tuned for more episodes like this.